Police officers have a history of treating blacks poorly. During the civil rights movement, police officers would attack the blacks protesting by hosing them down, beating them, and allowing their canines to bite them.
Those who are asking the devotees of civil rights, when will you be satisfied? We can never be satisfied as long as the Negro is the victim of the unspeakable horrors of police brutality.
Recently, this issue of police brutality has been especially present in Florida. In 2019 alone, 31 people have been killed by the police in Florida. More specifically, in the last 5 years, Florida has led the U.S. in police killings of unarmed blacks. This trend of police brutality in Florida needs to stop, and I believe the way to do so is punish these police officers when they mess up by not giving them paid leave. The New York Times reported a Broward sheriff officer was accused of tampering with evidence from a case where an officer shot a man in his apartment complex, but instead of punishing him, the department gave the officer a bravery award as the investigation was still in process. This is unacceptable as the investigation was still underway and no one knew what had really happened yet. If an officer kills someone, they shouldn't be congratulated with anything and should be held accountable until the case is over and they are found innocent. Times reported another case of this relaxed attitude towards an officer's mistake. An officer was called to follow someone who robbed a bar, and the officer arrested this person following a pursuit, but lied on the follow-up of the arrest to give the person a longer sentence. The officer kept his job anyways after this. The way these Florida departments deal with the officers is seen by other officers. If these officers are punished for their misdeeds, it will make other officers fear making the same errors. If the officers feel like they can get away with these type of things, they will be more willing to abuse their power. Some people say that these officers have an obligation to protect people, and these people that the officers are shooting are resisting. My problem with this is when people are unarmed, they're unable to protect themselves, so therefore a gun shouldn't be used. Most of these unarmed shooting victims are blacks, and a reason for this can be these officers are scared of blacks and have negative thoughts in their head before they approach. And one simple movement can trigger them to pull the trigger.
Please leave. Where is it? Where's the weapon? Okay, the gun. Where is it?
What gun?
Where? Shit!
These police officers killing men who don't have objects to kill them are going against their oath to keep the community safe. I think that another way to help with this problem is the issue of killing unarmed people being shown and emphasized as wrong at police academy to make sure people on their way to these positions know how dangerous this job can get and what is expected out of them. Before I took my lifeguarding course, I watched a video on how serious the job is. You got to see what can actually happen during the job, and the video was really graphic to scare lifeguards into doing the job right. This process would hopefully scare potential officers that are unfit for the job. A survey came out reporting that black kids were twice as likely to get stopped by a cop than any other race. This problem is not only one-sided, however, and I think that classes in school educating children on how to act when confronted by a police officer would be good. Some kids grow up disrespecting their teachers, and this can eventually lead to them disrespecting an officer, not ending well for them. Explaining the severity of their actions could help these kids fix their behavior, hopefully leading to better outcomes with the police in the future.
But you're not black. Remember, we only kill black people. Yeah, we only kill black people, right?
Everyone hears the news of the way these officers treat people, specifically blacks. This will make these people scared of cops, which causes more issues. This relationship between police officers and blacks, both thinking negatively about each other, is why this issue of police brutality persists. What we can do to help with this problem is vote for representatives with police brutality on their agenda. A bill was just introduced in Congress July 18th, and this bill would establish a 19-member commission to study and make recommendations to address social problems affecting black men and boys. A representative that would sponsor this bill is an example of who to vote for. For the problem of police brutality in Florida to officially stop, both cops and people have to trust and understand each other, and obviously, there's a lot of work to be done, but like anything, it is possible. As Martin Luther King would say, I have a dream.